Admiral Kethvar adjusted the neural interface connecting his consciousness to the flagship's quantum processors. The crystalline displays showed Earth suspended in the void like a blue marble, deceptively beautiful, impossibly fragile. His mandibles clicked in what humans might have mistaken for amusement. "Sir, the fleet awaits your orders," Commander Rylos reported, her 6 eyes reflecting the planet's azure glow. 200 vessels of the Zephyrian Imperial Navy hung in formation, each one capable of sterilizing continents. Kethvar's memory cores replayed the High Council's briefing. Earth, a primitive world whose inhabitants had barely achieved interplanetary travel. Their technology was laughably obsolete: fusion reactors instead of quantum singularity cores, chemical propulsion instead of dimensional fold drives. The planet's strategic value lay not in its defenses, but in its location at the intersection of 3 major hyperspace routes. "Initiate scanning protocols," Kethvar commanded. "Full spectral analysis. I want to understand these creatures before we begin pacification procedures." The results materialized in his consciousness within nanoseconds. 7 billion humans scattered across the planet's surface, their cities glowing like bioluminescent patches in the darkness. Their technology registered as Class 2 on the Imperial Development Scale, barely sophisticated enough to split atoms. What puzzled Kethvar was the message that had arrived 3 days prior. A simple transmission in broken Galactic standard. "Empire warned. Earth not target. Consequences follow interference." The High Council had dismissed it as primitive bravado. After all, what could a species that still used electromagnetic radiation for communication possibly do against the might of the Zephyrian Empire? "Sir," Rylos interrupted his contemplation. "Long-range sensors detect anomalous readings from the planet's moon." Kethvar's attention snapped to the lunar surface. The moon appeared unchanged, cratered, airless, unremarkable. Yet his instruments registered energy signatures that defied classification. Massive power sources buried beneath kilometers of rock, their output dwarfing entire star systems. "Impossible," he muttered. "Recalibrate the sensors." The readings remained consistent. More disturbing still, similar signatures were emerging from asteroid belts throughout the solar system. Hidden installations that had somehow escaped initial detection were powering up, one by one. "Admiral," his communications officer announced, voice trembling, "we're receiving a transmission from Earth." The holographic display materialized a human figure, unremarkable by galactic standards, bipedal and pink-skinned, wearing primitive clothing. But the being's eyes held an intelligence that made Kethvar's neural pathways fire warning signals. "Greetings, Admiral Kethvar of the 47th Conquest Fleet," the human said calmly. "I am Director Harrison of Terra Defense Initiatives. We tried to warn you through diplomatic channels, but your empire seems determined to proceed with hostile intentions." Kethvar's translator struggled with the human's words. Terra Defense Initiatives wasn't in any Imperial database. According to their intelligence, Earth possessed no unified military command. "Your species registered as Class 2, Kethvar transmitted back. "Surrender is your only option." Harrison smiled, an expression that somehow conveyed both sadness and terrible certainty. "Classification systems can be misleading. You see, we've been waiting for this moment for quite some time. Your empire isn't the first to underestimate us." Space around Earth suddenly blazed with artificial stars. Hidden defense platforms decloaked by the thousands, their weapons charging with energies that made Kethvar's flagship shudder. The moon's surface cracked open like an egg, revealing construction projects that spanned centuries. Massive railgun batteries emerged, their barrels longer than Imperial dreadnoughts. "Humans are remarkably patient," Harrison continued as Kethvar watched his tactical displays paint themselves red with threat indicators. "We've been preparing for contact with hostile civilizations for over 200 years. Every asteroid mined, every lunar colony built, every deep space probe launched. All part of a single, coordinated defense initiative." The Admiral's consciousness reeled as data flooded his systems. Hidden shipyards throughout the solar system were launching vessels that shouldn't exist. Human technology had somehow leaped from Class 2 to something approaching Class 8 or higher. The question now, Harrison said softly, is whether you'll accept our offer of safe passage home, or whether you'd prefer to learn why 17 previous invasion fleets never returned to file their reports. Kethvar stared at the tactical display, where his primitive targets now outnumbered his forces 3-1. The warning transmission suddenly made perfect sense. Some species, he realized, were very good at hiding their true capabilities.